welcome to another Tempo Strategy Wild Hearthstone video. The start of the school year at Scholomance Academy is just around the corner, and it's time to register for class. Scholomance Academy is the latest Hearthstone expansion, and the halls are packed full of powerful and exciting cards. Standard's sure to be turned upside down, but will these cards have any impact in Wild? Absolutely. Even though Wild is an eternal format, many of the new cards are bound to find a home in existing top-tier decks, or may be the key to pushing new and returning decks to the next level. Which cards are we most excited to see? Let's take a look at the top 5 legendary cards from Scholomance Academy that have the potential to rock the Wild format. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Tempo Strategy YouTube channel and to turn notifications on to stay up to date with our Wild Hearthstone content. We're going to focus on competitive cards in this video, but we'd be remiss if we didn't at least mention the neutral legendary with the greatest potential for serious memes, Keymaster Alabaster. While you control this card, you gain a 1-cost copy of each card your opponent draws. Of course, you can just play Keymaster and you're guaranteed to copy at least one card from your opponent on their next turn, but where's the fun in that? Wild has plenty of cards that can force your opponent to draw extra cards, including Cold Light Oracle, Research Project, Naturalize, and more. If you can copy enough cards with Alabaster's effect, you might be able to play your opponent's win conditions for yourself and do a better job of it too, since all of those cards will cost only 1 mana. Using Keymaster as a win condition isn't very reliable, since it depends on which cards you draw from your opponent, but it's bound to be a lot of fun, and who knows? Maybe Keymaster Alabaster can find its way into the competitive meta as a control deck mirror breaker card, or a linchpin card of a serious combo deck. Who knows? Either way, it's an interesting card that's sure to inspire some crazy games. At any rate, let's get started with our top 5 competitive legendary cards of Scholomance Academy. For our first card at number 5, we have Ace Hunter Kreen, which is one of the first dual-class legendary minions in the game, and one that's sure to see a ton of play in Wild. Kreen has an obvious home in Odd Demon Hunter, where he teams up well with Baku and the upgraded Demon Hunter hero power to help Illidan crush the enemy's board without losing life. He works with minions too, keeping yours safe while you make smart trades against the opponent. Kreen's bound to be strong in Demon Hunter, but he's not just a Demon Hunter card. The original Hunter class can use it too, so he's bound to find a home in toolbox decks like Reno Hunter, where he fits alongside other high-utility attacking legendaries like Houndmaster Shaw and Dino Tamer Bran. Overall, Ace Hunter Kreen can help you dominate any combat situation, and he's sure to be a solid role player for Illidan and Rexxar, so you'll want to keep him on your radar. At number 4, Vectis is the professor of necromancy at Scholomance Academy, and he's here to teach you Reanimation 101. His battlecry summons 2 1/1 whelps that each gain a death rattle from one of your previous death rattle minions. This is an effect we've seen before in Priest with Twilight's Call, but now that it's available as a neutral card, we can use this effect with powerful death rattle minions that Priest doesn't have access to. Case in point, Vectis can be used in a deck like Cube Warlock to copy heavy-hitting death rattles from demons like Voidcaller and Enhanced Dreadlord. Or consider using him in Death Rattle Hunter to create extra eggs to crack open with Play Dead and Feign Death. Of course, you can use him in Priest too, as a third copy of Twilight's Call for a deck like Quest Priest, copying death rattle draw effects to dig you closer to drawing King Togwaggle or Archbishop Benedictus. The Underworld's the limit with Vectis, so we're bound to see some creative uses for him come up as the Scholomance meta develops. Coming up next at number 3, we have Lorekeeper Polkelt, who is the head of the deck organization department at Scholomance Academy. His battlecry effect will order your deck from the highest cost card to lowest cost card, which is sure to have some potent applications in a wide variety of decks in Wild. For example, let's consider a deck like Malygos Druid, where you can use Lorekeeper to stack the top of your deck with key minions for your combo, or a deck like Jade Druid, where you can search up an ultimate infestation to cast on your next turn. How about using Lorekeeper and Exodia Paladin to search directly for Uther of the Ebonblade and set up for a 1-turn kill in the upcoming turns? It's all well and good to use Lorekeeper as a tutor, but how about using him as a part of the combo itself? You can do that in Holy Wrath Paladin, where you can play Lorekeeper to put Shirvallah the Tiger on top of your deck, then aim Holy Wrath at the opponent and shoot them for 25 damage directly in the face. This is all just the tip of the iceberg. Lorekeeper Polkelt is bound to enable some crazy combos that haven't even been thought of yet, so we're looking forward to seeing what Wild's most creative deck builders can do with him. At number 2, we have Mindrender Elucia, who is Scholomance Academy's resident expert in mind control. Mind Render Lucia's Battlecry allows you to swap hands and decks with your opponent until your next turn. On the surface, this effect might seem unwieldy, but in fact, the effect is a combo-breaking disruption tool that plays like a dirty rat dialed up to 11. Consider using a Lucia against a deck like Quest Mage, where you can cast their Time Warp after they complete the quest and take their extra turn for them, or using her against Mechathune Warlock, where you can cast their Cataclysm, discard their hand, and strip them of their win conditions. You can also use a Lucia against aggro decks to play some of their threats under your control while you deny them the ability to play threats on their turn. Sure, you give them your hand and deck for a turn in exchange for theirs, but what are they going to do? Cast one of your removal spells and clear the board for you? Bottom line, it's not a fair trade, and for a deck like Reno Priest, Mind Render Lucia breaks some of the deck's worst matchups wide open, so we expect this card to be a serious game changer in Wild. Our number 1 top Wild legendary card from Scholomance Academy is so good, you won't need a crystal ball to see it making waves in the format. We're talking about Sphere of Sapience, Hearthstone's first neutral weapon card, and one of Hearthstone's first draw manipulation effects. Instead of adding cards to your hand or stacking the deck, this card lets you look at the top card of your deck every turn before you draw, and if you don't want to draw the card you see, simply send it to the bottom of the deck and draw a different one instead. Since the card is neutral, it can literally fit into any deck, but since it's a weapon with no attack strength, it's not likely to see play in aggro decks, especially those that intend to attack with their hero. Instead, Sphere of Sapience is bound to see play in control or combo decks, especially decks that tend to stockpile cards in hand while they try to stall and dig for specific cards like Reno Priest. For Druid in particular, this card has combo potential beyond the ability to fix your draws. Sphere pairs naturally with Twig of the World Tree, giving you a way to break the twig and gain 10 mana without having to attack with your hero 5 times or play more cumbersome cards to replace it. Of course, if you draw Sphere early, you can still use it normally to filter your draws and find your other combo pieces too. Overall, Sphere of Sapience has a staggering amount of flexibility and combo potential, which makes it a natural fit for a wide variety of Wild decks. All in all, Scholomance Academy is packed with power, and even though we've reviewed some of its most powerful and interesting legendary cards, we've only just scratched the surface of what the new set has to offer. We're bound to see plenty of other Scholomance cards, legendary or not, make their mark by either fitting into established decks or inspiring brand new archetypes of their own. Which new cards are you the most excited to play with? Let us know in the comments, and as always, be sure to subscribe to our channel and to ring the bell to stay up to date with our Wild Hearthstone content. Thanks for watching!